on something that's going on in your life, if you want a healing on your dog, if you want a healing on your partner or something that you're going through, you can just bring forth all of those intentions in your mind, and you can just watch the miracle unfold. There's really no limit here.
Absolutely. We're going to do some energy or meditation to set the intention too. So go ahead and close your eyes. You can give yourself a deep breath in. Just connect with your breathing and your body. And just notice where you're showing up today. If there's some tension, if there's some shallow breathing, maybe there's some resistance to, your whole day, your whole life. Maybe there's some unconsciousness or some energy that would say you have to hurry up and be somewhere else. There could be a lot of energies that you're feeling and noticing, and the mind will have you think that they're related to your day and what's going on. But sometimes those are the energies that are coming up to be released, to be healed. So you can just take note of that. Just notice what's around you and within you. And you can just start to breathe into it. You don't have to resist it. You don't have to try to fight it away. Just observe it. Maybe you even say hello to it. And from that place of observation, would you imagine that there's a great big tube of energy or a tree trunk that extends from your waist straight down to the Earth's core? You can see that almost like as if it seatbelts onto your waist. And you can see that growing down or dropping down through the floor of your house, dropping down through the Earth's floor, going deeper and deeper through the crust. Maybe that grounding cord, that tube of energy, goes past some lava, and it just connects effortlessly into the center of the planet. We can command energy with our intention and visualization. This is a command to your body to be grounded, but it's also a hollow tube of energy, so you can release through it. So as you get that nice airtight seal from your hips into the center of the planet, anything that you've been holding on to, grasping at, anything that's kind of stuck in your field of awareness, you can imagine a big sponge just floating through your body, floating around you, absorbing that energy. Maybe there's like a yellow hue around you, a yellow fog, confusion, and you see that sponge absorbing it. Or maybe there's a pain in your back somewhere, and that sponge is going to soak that up. And when that sponge gets really full and saturated with energy, you can just drop it down that grounding cord. You can release your day. And just continue to breathe as you release. Maybe you need to use a second sponge. Yeah, and maybe you even want to soak up some seriousness. Maybe life has said that things are serious and hard. Maybe there's a lot of problem solving or problem avoiding. Can soak that up in that sponge just with your intention and visualization. You can drop that sponge as if it's become a heavy brick, so saturated with energy that it's gained that mass. You can just drop it right down that tube of energy. Or you can imagine as if there was a lever by your ear, like a toilet lever, and you can just flush the toilet, flush all that energy that's not yours, that you don't need to hold on to. Just like those power flush toilets that you see at like hotels or restaurants, where there's that really powerful whoosh. Just give that command that your body can release. It doesn't have to release physically, it's just releasing the energy, just letting it go. All right, so go ahead and bring your attention to the center of your head. It's that point if you were to put a finger on your forehead and a finger just above your ear, and to trace the line between the two. So right there behind your eyes, kind of in between your ears. And maybe you see yourself as a little ball of light that appears in the center of your head. Or maybe you see a little miniature version of you. Either way, just collect yourself up. Be right there in your center. And this isn't being in your head in the way that people use that term when they're talking about being in your mind, overthinking. It's not that type of being in your head. It's being in your spiritual center. And you can imagine that there's a comfy, cozy, or just appealing scenery in this space. So maybe for you, that's a nice big love sack that you're sitting in a really comfy room. Or maybe it's a nice beach or forest scene that you're hanging out in. Maybe it's something a little bit more mystical. Maybe it's kind of like if you could imagine your own universe. But whatever you're imagining as far as the scenery, make sure there's nobody else in there. If you see any other friends, family, any voices, just clutter, noise, anything that's not you, just ask it to leave. You can see a door on the left side of your head, and you can just open that door and invite everyone to walk out. Unless your mind is totally silent already, this is a good tool to just help clear some of that up. Just invite it out of that space, letting it be occupied with your awareness. Great. And then from that cozy place, you can close that door when everybody's out. And I want you to think of your intention for this healing clinic tonight. What is it that you've brought with you that you'd like to have heal? What is it that you're ready to let go of, that you're ready to transform? Maybe it's something you've been wrestling with for days or weeks on end, or maybe it's something that you're just starting to notice right now. And if you don't have anything that you brought with you, that's okay too. It'll show up. And what I want you to do is I want you to imagine out in front of you that there's a symbol that can be the placeholder for the energy of your intention. So the symbol can hold the energy of what you want to be healing. So maybe you want to see that just in a flower, in a rose. Let that be the placeholder for the energy you want to work tonight, that you want us to work and help you heal. Or maybe it's a symbol that's relevant to whatever you're working on. Maybe it's a symbol of something going on in your body, or maybe it's a symbol of something that's going on in your life. You don't really want to imagine something bad going on with you because that's going to feed the negative image. So I'd rather you do it as more of just a symbol, like a rose or a teddy bear or a Band-Aid, something that's not directly imagining yourself. Or you can even just have a little box. You can just have like a little treasure chest box, and you can intend that the energy of what you want healed sits inside of it. And we get to open that up and start to heal that with you tonight. And just leave that there out in front of you, seeing that symbol sitting a couple feet out in front of your body. And we're just going to do one more energy tool, and then I'm going to start to go to white and bring in this healing being. So for your last positive image, your positive visual command for energy is going to be what we call a golden sun. So imagine up above you a great big golden orb. See that that golden orb is at least twice as big as your body. And just like the sun has gravity, imagine that this golden sun has gravity, but what it is pulling back to it is your own energy, anywhere where you've been scattered. We think of ourselves as one place in the body, but on a spiritual level, your energy can be scattered. It can be scattered in a conversation. It can be scattered in a daydream. It can be scattered all over the place. Something that people have been noticing lately is they've been feeling this sleepiness or this headache and kind of an energy that pulls them out of their body. And part of what's happening there is there's a lot of energy around this war with Russia and Ukraine. And on a spiritual level, our energy is being pulled to the situation in some way to help heal it. Or another way you could think of that is anywhere where you have some level of a war waging within you, that energy is coming up within your space to be worked on, to be healed. And there's a lot of different energies around that situation. There's a lot of lies. There's a lot of sort of mixed feelings and opinions. There's a lot of coming together, uniting, standing up. Lots of misplaced fear. And so some of those energies maybe you've been pulled into rather than in this nice, comfy, cozy center of headspace that we're touching in on. Maybe you've been pulled into some of your own internal battles that are going on with you, and maybe your sleep's been a little disrupted. So imagine that all of that energy comes back into this golden sun, and it doesn't come back all ooey and gooey and disturbed. You're not bringing back that negative sounding energy I was speaking to. You're bringing it back, and that sun is neutralizing it. It's bringing it up to a bright golden vibration, which is a nice healing vibration for the body. It's almost like it's filtering it all out, neutralizing it, bringing it back so it's the best magic elixir for you. So when you have that golden sun as big and as bright as you can imagine it above your head, imagine that you're reaching up and popping that golden sun, letting that powerful healing energy pour in through the top of your head, pour in through your body, neck, shoulders, torso, legs. Let that gold really just fill you in. It's replenishing you. And I'd like you to just continue to sit in that center of head place and kind of bask in that golden light and enjoy a little bit of meditation while I start to move up to white and bring in that being. Melanie's gonna hold down the fort for us, and she's gonna be looking at energies psychically as we go. So we'll both be communicating while she's multitasking really well. Okay.
And while Brandon goes into that space, I'm just going to watch as he brings in Archangel Shamuel. And I just wanted to comment that as you guys were bringing your energy back, it looked like as you were bringing your energy in, it was actually helping you to release a lot of other stuff that was hanging out in your energetic field. And there was a lot of release happening around the bodily chakras. So that would be anywhere from kind of like the mid torso down. A lot of survival energy, a lot of emotional energy, a lot of energy around your personal power and the way that you feel your body. So a lot of that released as you received that energy back, which looked like it was very nourishing. Yeah. So I'm just going to continue to watch what energetically is happening as you receive this healing and kind of letting you know what I see. The first thing that looks like it's coming up is that there's a big match in the room around an energy of communication and just the level of communication that's happening right now in the world and the way that's affecting the way that your body and your spirit communicate with each other. So there's kind of just a little bit of energy between the spirit and the body in a way. And I'm watching as some of that starts to light up and release.
Yes, and I have brought Archangel Shamuel in to give a healing, and he is showing me that he's starting to bring your vibration up to a higher vibration, that white vibration that we're healing from. And we're just seeing that there's some sort of holding on to the energies of the past, holding on to the pains that you've carried and that have been a story that's fed into how you see the world and your place in it. And the stories that relate to fear and your surroundings and how you can make it in the world. And the world is shifting and you are shifting and you are ready for new information within yourself as to how you can operate in the world. And it doesn't have to be hard and painful. It can be something that we can let go of and step into a new vibration that serves us and humanity in a new way. And so we're coming in and just helping to release that old information, that outdated story that we hold so near and dear to our heart. And what I see coming in is this energy of who you truly are. You are so much more than that story that you've been holding on to. You're so much more than your past, that so much more than your experiences.
I'm watching this very interesting dynamic between the emotional center and the way that we look for and care for people. It's almost like a unconscious scanning, looking for things that need to be fixed, and then pulling that energy into the emotional center, which sits kind of like at the belly button level. This we would refer to as the second chakra. And it looks like there's a level of releasing responsibility for managing things that are just not yours to manage. So I'm seeing a lot of energy start to clear from that space where there's this holding and processing for others. And what that does is it's really kind of like water in your gas tank. It's just not fueling your body in the way that it needs to be fueled. And it kind of just sets your whole system in a kind of funky way. So I'm watching that start to clear. Yeah, it's looking good.
Great. And the next energy that I'm working on is this energy that would want to create the illusion of there being a you and there being a somebody else, and there being people that are doing terrible things and people that are doing good things, people you can love and accept and people that you have to hate. And it's just that energy of division that pins people against each other, but ultimately separates you from yourself and from your connection to source and to everyone else. And so I'm coming in and I'm healing the heart chakra there, that fourth chakra, and clearing out that energy of division. And ultimately, that's energy of places within yourself where you don't fully accept yourself and can't fully love all the aspects of you. Anywhere where there's punishment that you're placing upon yourself, or where there's not permission to make mistakes and to be growing. And um, just seeing the innate perfectness of each of you start to shine through, as well as that love and nurture. And there's sort of a level of responsibility that can come in through the shoulders and through the solar plexus there, that will say that in this world, it's you against everyone else in the way in which you create, the way in which you operate your energy for your body, how you use your fuel. And you see that in the business world a lot, where people are in competition and they have to do what they can to get ahead. Otherwise, they might fail or fall behind, and then they're no longer safe. They're not going to have what they need. And so we're removing any energies that would hold you in separation due to this false ideal of responsibility and how you have to show up and operate in the world. And instead, there's an energy that's coming in of conscious cooperation and working together and being able to build off each other's successes and create a harmonious society, but also create harmony within us in the actions that we take.
I was just pointing out that level of competition. It's interesting that I wanted to speak on that. It's this level of competition between people, but also this level of competition between the spirit and the body, and what needs to happen when there's so much energy lit up in the world, especially that destroy energy, and how that affects our survival and our ability to let go and to be grounded, or to even kind of just run our energy. So I'm just kind of watching as that starts to break loose there. And it's almost like the way that we might experience within ourselves is this pressure that we apply to ourselves to hold it together, or to figure it out, or to manage 100 things at once, to be the person that everybody can rely on. And it really just looks like there's a discernment coming in there around when and where that's appropriate, and when and where you need to be able to give that loving, kind, caring helpfulness to yourself instead. So it looks like that's starting to kind of shift out of the shoulders and the neck. It's kind of melting out of the jaw area a bit. It's just really kind of realigning that information that you're gathering in the world, not so much from the outside, but kind of realigning it so that you're hearing your own information and you can tune into your own needs. That looks like it's starting to really settle in there nicely.
Yeah, I was noticing some energy of where the world and society has conditioned us to give our attention away to it, where it says, okay, you need to focus on this, you need to put your energy and intention over here. And there's specific places where they try to funnel your attention and your energy. And it's almost just like a bunch of flashing lights and things to say, hey, look outside of yourself, notice this. And it starts from a pretty early age. It starts, with babies, right? They have that little place where they sit and those toys dangle above their head. It's like, oh, look at this, look at that. And it's an energy that keeps you from being able to have your attention on yourself first and foremost. You can be aware of other things as well, but you can be aware of your own awareness first and foremost. So I'm healing some of that distraction energy out, some energy that would say you have to be aware of something else before yourself. And then the other thing that we're healing is this energy that connects to your emotional memory banks. And it's the memory banks that are informed by your genetics, that are informed by generations before you and the decisions that they've made and the things that have happened to them. And where you're holding on to that pain in that energy from the past. And what I'm noticing is that with this sort of start of a world war, there is the energy of this is going to be in people's genetics for lifetimes to come. And it's both sort of a warning, but it's also triggering that energy that's already within us, where we have stored trauma from the past, from our ancestors. Kind of a nice, serious topic, pretty intense, heavy energy. But we're bringing in some lightness and laughter to it because it's not that we're a victim to it. It's not that we have to be stuck in that energy, that it has to be the only information that we have. we can actually shift that and change that. And science is even starting to show that you can affect and change those genetic imprints on you. So we're saying hello to that in each of you, your own individualized pain and memory there. And we're not erasing it or moving it out. We're just helping you to have a healthy relationship with it and to not be a victim to it, not be under its control. Instead, you get to be the one that decides what information you want and what you don't. And so we're just giving you that sort of cellular healing.
I was also watching the energy around the way that energy affects you in a cellular level, and how certain energies that are not yours can make your body feel and react and respond negatively. And I was just watching this kind of global shedding around any energy that's been being carried, kind of matching this destroy energy in the world right now, shifting out to the surface. And so it looks like a lot of people right now are becoming aware of either emotional patterning or physical conditions or circumstances, even kind of physical sensations in a way, whether that's being tired or tense or anxious. And it looks like that is part of the shedding that's happening, where there's this purge. All the things that have been being carried that have been affecting the body are kind of coming up to be released. Just watching that kind of really begin to shift the ability for spirit and the capability around spirit and what you're kind of doing here on the planet. It really kind of releases that energy around not knowing why you're here, or not knowing why things are a certain way, or kind of being at the whim of your body sometimes, and having that clash where your body's doing one thing and you want to do another thing. So I'm just watching that kind of start to realign in a way. There's a lot more space and permission coming in there to be in agreement with your physical world and to be in agreement with the things that you're creating. It looks like it's really expanding everybody's ability to have different things. So maybe you felt like you've been stuck in a holding pattern, or like things are always difficult, and it just looks like it's kind of breaking you out of that pattern.
Yeah, I'm starting to just bring the energy up a notch higher, get us into a higher, brighter vibration that you can really enjoy. And you may start to feel just this nice hum throughout your body as you go a little bit brighter and a little bit brighter. And the energy that we're clearing with that has to do with sort of the energy that runs through your face. It has to do with the telepathic noise from other people's thoughts that have come in. And we're healing your throat, your center of headspace that you worked on, and just helping to clear out any of that pressure, any of that noise, because it looks like we've all been tuned in to sort of this telepathic radio station to keep in check with the world and with people close to us, and to sort of stay on high alert for what's to come next in our lives. And instead of being tuned into all of that energy, we're helping you to release that, clear that out, and connect you to the connection between you and source, you and spirit, and be able to have sort of that higher alignment to get your answers from, and to get your solution, and to tap into what's going on from that higher place, rather than from that more sort of earthly collective consciousness vibration. So you may just feel a nice step up in energy here. And we're going to place our hands on the back of your head near your occipital ridge for a moment, and just release any energy that's there. Sometimes some pain can be stored there. Sometimes a lot of different types of heavy or sort of oppressive energies can be stored there. So we're going to touch that in all of you for a moment. And it almost has the effect of like a baby being swaddled, might be the word, where they're kind of rocked in someone's arms and they're just held in a really nice, safe place. You're kind of energetically holding your head in that way and letting any energy that needs to release, release. And the other thing that's happening too is as that energy that's not you releases, I'm starting to just acknowledge your individual gifts, your individual talents, abilities, energies that make you unique and make you you. That energy of who you are as a soul beyond just your incarnation, a part of you that lives on. And I'm just seeing that your own creative power and your ability to tap into your own innate gifts and creativity is increasing, which will help you to both create in your life, but also to solve problems in a way that might be a little bit more fun and creative rather than, oppressive or destructive. And so there's a lot of freedom that's coming in with that.
I'm watching this energy around the places where we create in kind of our spiritual bodies. It looks like there's energy kind of releasing from that space around world events, old patterns, self-defeating behavior, old programming. It would just be this like almost narrow point of view. And it, in a way, it kind of filters the amount of energy that you're allowed to bring into your body. So I'm just watching that clear from everyone. And it just looks like that helps you to access more of your knowing and more of your certainty in situations where it feels like everything is chaos, or maybe it feels like things just are not going the way that you'd planned. Instead of getting that constriction, it's really opening this up so that you can bring in change or bring in the information that you need in order to move forward. It looks like it's almost informing the body in a whole new way. All the energy centers are kind of realigning with that. And it just kind of sets the tone of your space at a different vibration. And that vibration really resonates out into the world. And something that is in a similar frequency is going to be attracted to you. So it's really changing your frequency and allowing you to experience new things. A lot of expansion coming in with that. Hitting a nice white hum, which is definitely an out of body vibration. So if you feel like you're kind of just drifting or really relaxed, that's totally fine. You can just bask in that energy. It's a nice high vibrational healing for all of the things that you have as your intention.
Yeah, and Samuel is showing me that he's getting closer towards the end of his healing for you, and he's just showing me that he's touching in on each individual healing request that you had, and he's starting to work energy around it. But he's holding this very spacious, protective bubble around you, and helping you to be able to let go of burdens that you hold in your heart, sort of old levels of grief that you're holding on to, those levels of when there's somebody in your life that you really want to help or care about, but you can't seem to find a way, and you maybe hold yourself responsible. He's showing that it's okay to let that responsibility go. You can even let that person go to some extent so that they can find their way. They have to find it through their own path. You can't force them in any direction. And so there's this energy of forgiveness that's coming in, both towards yourself and towards others. And it's just this really heart nourishing energy. And it's one that just creates this level of safety around your life, where everything doesn't have to be so serious and intense, but it can be kind of protected and looked over. And you can know that you're not alone, that there are magnificent beings that are walking this path with you, some embodied and some not. And you have support. You have whatever you need. Your next answer is always right there within you, ready to be brought up. You're never lost and alone on this journey.
Just watching as he works some of those intentions. Whew. He's bringing in a lot of validation. So anywhere where your healing request has kind of had you feeling invalidated some type of way, it just looks like that validation energy is really soothing to the whole system. Body can finally really release.
And I'm just watching this energy of you are the light and the love of the world start to fill in. There's a quality of silence and peace to it.
That looks great.
All right. And we're going to start to wrap up this heal. We're going to bring you back down to a vibration where you can be in your body and start to fill you in with your own light. So you can reimagine that grounding cord or tube of energy. You can find yourself back in the center of your own head. I am going to have Archangel Shamuel unplug from me. He's giving his deepest, most heartful hello and goodbye. He really enjoyed getting to work with you all. And he says that he'll kind of touch in over the next day or two to continue to assist you in any shifts that may transpire. All right, and I'm going to start to step my energy down too. Come back into my own body here.
And if you'd like to, you can take a nice breath. There was so much clearing. You did awesome receiving that healing and being present for the things that you were ready to release. And if there's something that you experienced, or maybe you had a physical sensation that surprised you, if you'd like to write in the comment box, or even just unmute yourself and talk about it a little bit, we'd love to hear about what you experienced. Me personally, when Archangel Shamuel started talking about clearing energy out of the back of the head, I started to feel like a lot of energy moving out. It almost felt like it was in my mouth and then it got pulled out of the back like a wet blanket. So that was really interesting to experience, but also just watching everybody start to release that energy from the emotional center, that was very visceral for me as well, to watch everybody willingly let go of all those things they were managing. And it felt like my stomach went from tense to this like very relaxed state. So that was really cool to experience.
Yeah, feel free to unmute or turn your cameras back on if you want to say hello or share anything. It's always nice to hear from you guys too. I know sometimes you're kind of still in the energy and soaking it all in, and it's, it doesn't feel right.
Sometimes you just want to like bask in it afterwards, like, oh, that relief. Or sometimes you're taking a nap a little bit and you just come to, wait, what were we talking about?
Sometimes sharing what you experienced helps you to integrate it a little bit more, though, and can help other people understand what they were feeling too. So
how was it working with Shamuel?
He was great. Yeah, he was a very easygoing, just very peaceful, respectful angel to work with. I've done some groups of channeled angel healings where it's a hands-on healing, and it's a very different vibration to this when they're coming into this space. And it was very enjoyable, very easy. Didn't really have to manage anything, just got to experience it with you.
Yeah, he seemed like he really had it handled, so it was nice to just be able to kind of look at the energy in the room while he was doing his thing.
Yeah, very nice container.
Yeah,
I think this time I knew kind of what I was experiencing a little bit more, which was kind of nice. I definitely felt the vibration this time. I don't think I felt it the same last time. It was different. So I felt like felt like the energy was, the negativity was going out of me. I could feel it through my fingertips.
it's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for sharing.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely felt the different steps you took us to, and that was really cool to feel the different steps. And I had like waves of different physical things, which is typical for me with energy work all throughout. Like before, like we started, my stomach was kind of clenched up, and then that got better, and then my neck pain got worse, and then that got better, and then I felt this sharp, I don't remember what was when, but I felt this sharp like tapping on the top of my head that then cleared. So yeah, but all like, it actually felt, as much as I felt like there was an intensity to it, there was also like a nice, like even gentleness to everything too, which was really nice.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
That's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
What's interesting is that sometimes there's such a physical sensation around the energy that's ready to clear and how it's really been affecting us physically. And it just all of a sudden you're like, wow, my jaw is so tight right now. And then it just melts. It's so nice. Yeah, I thought it was great. You did a good job. You guys did awesome too. Just watching you clear all of that was really fun.
Great. Well, if nobody else has anything they want to share, then we can wrap up with that. It was a pleasure as always to have you here. We're gonna keep doing them. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but we'll keep holding this space at the same times, still for free for a while, and yeah, we hope to see you again.
And feel free to invite a friend or share the link with anybody that you think might be interested. We'll love to have as many people as you'd like to show up. There's just so many people right now that are in need of energetic support. So if you know someone going through some stuff, feel free to send them this way. And it was so great to have all of you here.
Woohoo! Yeah, you may notice how you feel tonight and when you sleep and tomorrow too. It's just kind of interesting to see how a healing can affect your day going forward. So you may just be aware of that, see if anything happens that's a little bit different. It's kind of cool to watch for.
It is cool.
All
Thanks,
right.
guys.
Yeah. You're
Very
so
much,
welcome.
guys. Good
Thanks,
evening.
guys. Bye.
See
Hope you
ya.
all have a wonderful night.
Bye.